Greetings all! Today, we'll be examining the uncommon Psychic-type Pokemon Munna, the Dream Eater Pokémon, and its rare evolution Musharna, the Drowsing Pokémon. Cute in appearance and seemingly calm in almost all cases, the members of the Munna family are interesting beasts that can help to make your dreams much more pleasant if you're willing to work with them.
Munna have small pink bodies with a rounded form and 4 tiny digitaless limbs that wobble freely in the air, not really being needed as they float in the air endlessly. They have a pair of pink nostrils on their form and bright red eyes, with a floral pattern of purple flowers with dark pink centers on their back end. Their evolved form, Musharna, have a similar body form with a light pink head and purple body, the digitaless limbs being much larger in size with dark pink tips. Their eyes, with dark pink cheek marks, are always almost perpetually closed as they sleep in a trance most of their life, a waft of dream mist coming from a hole in their skull constantly.
Much like the members of the Drowsy family, the members of the Munna family are creatures thought by some to be descendants of the legendary creature Baku, and are noted for their capacity to eat the dreams of others in order to fuel their own energy reserves. These Pokemon are a bit more distantly related compared to the Drowsy family, however, and are a bit more refined in their execution of their normal habits for the most part.
In essence, these creatures, though capable of putting others to sleep through their hypnosis technique, tend to want to wait until others fall asleep naturally before using their psychic powers to devour the dreams of their targets, trying to be kinder and more courteous in their feeding habits. It is unknown why this is the case, but it is a boon to most, as it means that these creatures are able to earn the trust of others more readily and use that to acquire their primary sustenance more readily, benefiting them in the same way that honey attracts more flies than vinegar. This also translates into their Dream Eater attack, not being quite as rough as those used by other Pokemon, which is helpful for those that just need a bad dream removed, but also less so when trying to rend a sleeping opponent in battle. They are also able to devour and process bad dreams more efficiently than their contemporaries, and thus suffer few ill effects from them, so they are able to feed on a larger variety of dreams without getting sick, helping to expand the popularity in places like the Unova region where they are somewhat plentiful. This, combined with their considerable psychic powers, is what allows these creatures to make educated guesses on the powers an opponent might have, or otherwise readily form a psychic link with them, allowing them to possess forewarn or synchronize as base abilities, while those that have particularly strong telekinetic powers and are able to do the same even more so with teammates in a multi-Pokemon battle can also possess telepathy as a hidden ability. In terms of stats, and looking at Musharna, it can be said that their forms have noticeable bulk to them for a psychic type, and they're able to take decent punishment, with their base HP and defense stats being above average for a fully evolved psychic type Pokemon. However, they are lacking in all other areas and cannot strike with the same force that other psychic types are capable of, but at the very least they can take hits and deliver decent ones back in turn to make themselves into useful fighters, though artificial means of move teaching might be needed to deal with their extremely limited natural moveset. Munna constantly fly through the air as a consequence of their psychokinetic powers, which works out for them as their limbs have devolved over time to the point where they cannot support these creatures very well if they are stuck on the ground.
As noted before, these creatures have a habit of waiting until others go to sleep before floating over to their heads and eating their dreams peacefully, their bodies glowing faintly as they do so. It is usually pretty easy for their targets to tell this has happened, as they awake with a feeling that they had a memorable dream, yet are unable to remember any of it at all.
What is interesting though, is that as Munna feed and process the dreams they are eating to get as much energy as possible from them, they expel the excess essence from their bodies in the form of a pink mist known as Dream Mist. In the current state of evolution, there isn't much that these creatures can do with the mist, so it is released as it is, a sort of dry dream that can be inhaled by others resting nearby. If this happens, that individual will then absorb the dream and have it as if it was their own, even if it might not make sense for them to be able to see and experience it. This can lead to some complications if the mist is black though, as this is the essence of a nightmare. But on the other hand, it can help with the spread of ideas and in turn potentially prove to be a boon for those that inhale the mist unintentionally. At the very least, these creatures can still make good use of their own power even if they are not equipped to do much with the waste of their feeding episodes, as they learn a considerable variety of offensive and tactical moves of their type, though it is recommended that some artificial assistance be provided if one wishes to use them in battle, as they almost exclusively learn nothing but psychic type moves and barely learn anything in the way of physical attacks, though the limited offensive strength physically might make this a moot point. Although Munna are perfectly capable of surviving as they are in the wild, if they are exposed to the radiant energy of a moonstone, they can transform and evolve into Musharna, and the powers become noticeably amplified as a result. In this state, the psychic powers of these creatures increase enough to enable them to learn the psychic terrain technique, and their strength increases substantially, both in terms of their ability to deal and take damage in battle, and their dream-eating capabilities. When these creatures feed on dreams, the normally pink mist that comes out of them can actually change color to show the type of dream they are feasting on, whether it be sad, happy, anxiety-inducing, and so on. More importantly though, these creatures can remember pretty much every single dream they feast on, and they can use this power to condense the dream mist that leaves their bodies and use it to create illusions that seem hyper-realistic, even if they are merely psychic projections at best. However, it is highly recommended that individuals stay away from the mist when it is a black color, for with Musharna, the gas is charged with enough psychic energy to not only put others to sleep, but quite literally bring their worst nightmares to life. As far as their capacity to defend themselves goes, these creatures are able to normally maintain a sleeping trance, much like Abra, that allows them to battle and interact with others even while they are sleeping. This can make them tricky customers to surprise and deal with, and it is recommended that they not be woken suddenly, as they tend to be quite grumpy if disturbed after they have just woken up, sometimes leading to minor rampages that can be hard to control and potentially terrifying for opponents to have to deal with.
While they might lack versatility in the way in which they can target opponents in battle, the members of the Munna family are interesting dream eaters that can both take away the best of dreams and clean away some of the worst of nightmares if given the opportunity. You might have to go out of your way to find a rare moonstone in order to make the most of their power, but they can still be decent creatures to rely on if you're in desperate need of a strong psychic type on your team.
Just do yourself a favor and try to keep on their good side. They might usually be kind enough to help you through an awful dream, but get on their bad side and they might just choose to let you suffer through the night while looking for something more pleasant to snack on. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description.
Yeah, no.
With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.